On Monday, May 23rd, 2022, while in her intensive meditation retreat for the world, our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai kindly called Supreme Master Television team members to check on their wellness. During the conference, Master also provided her thoughts on questions and some news related to world events prepared by the team.
Master, the United States Republican Senator Mitt Romney suggests that if Putin used nuclear weapons, then NATO could engage in Ukraine.
Why do they have to wait into nuclear weapons? Huh?
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Why? If they use nuclear weapons, then they can come in. Why not now? Huh?
That's right.
Ridiculous. They just trying to make excuses. But you know what? At least they were helping with something. But the thing is, weapons alone are not enough.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
They need expertise. They need also more manpower because Ukrainians have like 40 million people. There are not enough men.
Yes, Master.
Even all the people came out, the young and the old all came out to fight, but they're not professional. That's just to show their unity, the freedom-loving, the spirit, sacrifice and courage. But that doesn't mean that they have enough manpower. So they cannot just protect everywhere in the whole country.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Because they have to face Russia on all fronts in different areas at the same time. Thus, the steel plant heroes under the tunnel there had to surrender
Yes, Master.
because their wives, their family wanted them alive. So President Zelensky had to relent.
Yes, Master.
Otherwise, they would maybe die down there. But I don't know what they prefer, to die a hero or to surrender under Russia's hand like that. There is a price for both, eh?
Yes, Master.
If they don't surrender, then some wounded soldiers down there would suffer too much without medicine, and then they also ran out of food and water already. But to surrender like that also has a big dent in their dignity.
Yes, Master.
They did not want to. They said they'd rather fight to the end. That was what they said. But the family pressured the president and even went to P. Francis to ask, what can he do anyway? If NATO can come in when they use nuclear weapons, then it's too late already.
Yes, yes.
Maybe everybody already would have died.
That's right, Master.
Then what for come in?
Yes, understand.
Might as well give it all to Russia now. Save everybody's lives.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
I really have no more respect for the leader of NATO. As I told you already, they say they would protect freedom and democracy.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right.
And that's exactly what Ukraine was doing, and practically doing it in action, not just talk. They just talk. I think they just collect memberships, that's all. I think NATO just wants to, maybe deliberately, maybe not, but just collect more members to feel stronger, but not following the ideal of NATO.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Because, you see, it's like sending a message to the rich and powerful like Finland and Sweden and any other country saying, see, if you don't join me, then you will be like Ukraine. You will be at war like that.
Yes, understand.
So somehow it's kind of a subtle hint, a wrong message. Instead of protecting people, just wanting to consolidate the leader's position and NATO showing off in its practice.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master. Master.
In practice, it feels like an empty, hollow character. It doesn't mean much to me. It doesn't seem like they walk the talk. It doesn't seem like they truly want to protect freedom and democracy. Because Ukraine is the symbol of freedom and democracy in their own right.
That's right, Master.
And they don't want to accept Ukraine, especially when they are in need of some shoulders to lean on, truly in imminent danger and need. And they just ignore Ukraine. Just throw some weapons. That's it. And the top leader of NATO is really a piece of useless mouth. That's what I think.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
I feel disgusted with these guys. The Russians oppress, murder, and rape the children and women in Ukraine, and they sit pretty next door
Yes.
and collecting just more membership, profiting of Ukraine's suffering. So disgusting.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
If they had come in before, then Mariupol would not have been lost, and the soldiers down there wouldn't have suffered so much under the steel plant,
That's right.
Yes, Master.
fighting just a handful of them, outnumbered by Russians, outnumbered, outweaponed,
Yes.
out-equipped. And now Russia Russianizes many of the places that they have occupied.
Yes, Master.
They broadcast Russian TV channels, fake news, and they don't let people speak Ukrainian and many other things. They start to install their footprints inside Ukraine already
Yes.
and destroy so many cities and damage many villages and still continue doing it. And NATO just folds their hands in front of their chest and looks on and collects memberships. Like Finland and Sweden have to join them because they fear for their countries.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
If NATO had protected Ukraine in the more proper way, then maybe Finland and Sweden wouldn't have joined them
That's
Yes,
right.
Master.
because they would think that in case of trouble, NATO would help them.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Like this, it's a form of subtle coercion,
Yes.
passive coercion. I'm disgusted with this so-called leaders of the world standing up there and talking big. Disgusting. And letting Ukrainian people suffer and die and begging for their lives, for their family members' lives. And don't even have food, don't have drink, and losing their identity under many of the occupied areas already. So disgusting. I feel they are so disgusting, these leaders of the so-called NATO. So at least Senator Romney, he has some sense. But he should have spoken more directly and more loudly. Just say, go in, man.
Yes, Master.
Not just say, if. Wow, my God, if Russia used nuclear weapons already, do you think the Ukrainian people would still be alive?
No.
No ways.
I heard President Trump say that America has just one. They have many, of course, yeah?
Yes.
But they said just one of them is enough to flatten Russia already.
Yes, I heard that.
Or at least big cities.
I think they're dealing with them incorrectly. I think what they're saying, it's almost like they're speaking with fear, and they don't understand. We have one weapon alone that would destroy everything.
So if Russia used nuclear weapons, what for does NATO want to come in, huh? Do what?
Right.
To count the bones, if there are any left? Or to sieve to the ashes of the people?
It's too late.
Or go look for leftover treasure or something? If anything is left at all. My God, that's what I've been saying for a long time already. Just giving weapons not enough, they need more manpower,
Yes, Master.
Yes.
more practical support, more soldiers.
Right.
Yes.
But they're just standing by waiting to profit from Ukraine, to profit from the Ukrainian people, to profit from the prolonged war. That is to wait for them to win the war so that they can benefit from it,
Yes.
like getting rid of Russia and taking all their oligarchs' money for whatever reason. Or if Ukraine lose, then it's not them who lose.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
My God, so ugly. Yuck. Disgusting, all these so-called leaders. Oh. Because if you say you protect democracy and freedom, then you should help people when they're doing that.
Yes.
Yes.
Because NATO doesn't even want to accept Ukraine.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh. And then doesn't help. What kind of people are that? Even normal people, next door neighbors. If they see some people bullying their neighbors, they would run over to help.
Yes,
Yes.
they would, Master.
They do what they can, no?
Right.
And here, just standing by and watching the Ukraine people suffer. They just stand by and enjoy. These people have some sadistic tendency and even profit from Ukraine. It doesn't matter how many millions of people are starving. If not now, then soon.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Because they will always have food to eat, these leaders, no matter what. They will always have it, and have it in abundance.
Right.
Have all this big meat, big wine, and whatever they have. Big house, flashy cars to use, and regular salary. But the poorer people, the poor nations, don't have all these privileges. So if they don't have food, they will starve. They will die, including children as well, of course.
Yes.
So I'm disgusted with these leaders. They're not worthy to be leaders at all, earning money and all. They don't do their job well. They should be fired or just go home in shame. This is even more honest than just standing there.
Yes, it's true, Master.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Not to say these things. I'm sorry for these people, the helpless people in the world who cannot afford the luxury that these stupid, selfish, indignant so-called leaders have.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
They have all the luxury, all the privilege. The poor, normal people don't have. I'm telling you, all these are working for evil, for the devil.
Yes, Master.
Because they don't have enough morals. So the devil influences them easily if they are not devils themselves.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
If they have enough morals, dignity, and some human decency, then the devils will stay away from them because they respect that they don't dare.
Right.
Just good people, they don't dare. But they don't have enough morals. They don't have enough virtue. That's why they are influenced by the devils and work for them. No matter that the normal people suffer so much, they don't care. As long as they're well fed and well off. Oh man, just leave off the people and don't take care of people.
Yes,
Yes, understand, Master.
These so-called leaders, they live off people. Live off all the people's tax money, hard-earned labor, and finance.
Yes, Master.
And don't even take care of them. This is the world upside down. If somebody pays you, you should be diligent, respectfully work for them, right?
That's right.
Yes,
Just like they are your boss. But because they became leaders and these people are poor, so they look down upon them or they don't care. These kinds of people, you think they're worth their soul to be leaders?
No, Master.
No, Master, not at all.
Of course not. That's why I spare no words.
Right, Master.
I feel so disgusted, truly. They're despicable. That's the words I can find. They're so ugly, sinister, shameless. Yeah. Okay. Tell me anything else, otherwise I could keep ranting on.
Yes, Master. So with the COVID spreading like it is now, it just continues.
A new COVID wave is accelerating across the country, with cases rising in nearly every state. New daily cases are up by more than 50% from just 2 weeks ago, while COVID-related hospitalizations rose by 12% over the last week.
More than 145,000 new infections in just the past 24 hours. And take a look at this tonight, the community-level spread map. A growing number of counties in the Northeast now moving back into the high-risk level.
New COVID cases in the U.S. tripling over the last 6 weeks, the highest daily total since mid-February.
This pandemic is not over, and if we bring down our guard and not do the things we need to do, we can get ourselves into the same trouble we were several months ago.
Should we have an open policy, like a lot of the restrictions are being lifting? Should this continue?
It depends on the country, what they choose to do,
Right.
But the thing is, people have to be disciplined. Not just like, okay, take off the mask, and they said, no, they should continue with the mask.
Right.
Because that will prevent the spreading and prevent the infection to a bigger extent.
Yes, true.
Not just wear masks, but wear these jumpsuits
Yes.
Yes.
and also the face shield until the pandemic's completely eliminated.
Right.
Then it should be back to normal. But right now, we could be open, but just half normal,
Right, Master.
meaning just wear protective gear. But
Yes.
that doesn't mean they lost their freedom. They can go out and do their things, work and everything. Otherwise, if they just open like that, then the virus will jump and spread very quickly.
That's right, Master.
Like in Korea,
Yes.
in just some days, 2 million infected. But they say they control it now. I'm not sure. So they refuse Biden's offer of vaccine.
Yes.
Yes.
There are fears North Korea is facing an imminent COVID catastrophe. Earlier this month, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un admitted COVID finally reached his country, but North Korea lacks the testing capacity to confirm suspected cases and has relied instead on the number of people with fevers.
The number of people with fever-like symptoms surpassed 2 million today. The country has reported more than 200,000 fever cases and 2 related deaths over the last 24 hours, taking the recorded fever caseload to 2.24 million, according to state media. The UN Human Rights Agency has now warned of devastating consequences for the 25 million citizens if the situation prevails. The WHO is also concerned as the unchecked spread could give rise to new deadlier variants.
But the isolated regime continues to shun outside offers of assistance.
South Korea and the United States have offered to send aid to help fight the outbreak, but have not received a response from the North yet.
Well, they always snoop on Biden ever since he came to the office anyway.
Yes.
They only talked to Trump. They don't trust Biden. I told you, he lost the trust of many nations.
Yes,
Master.
All the time already, not just that. In North Korea, they don't even have an inch of respect for Biden. They never answer him anything up to now.
Yes.
All kinds of offers, like he wants to see North Koreans, they don't answer.
Yes.
Now they offer vaccines free of charge, they don't answer. I don't blame them. They are just using their home remedies to cure themselves. Sometimes it's even less side effects than the vaccines.
Yes,
Master.
As I know it, vaccines have not been good to people, even though it seems so.
Yes.
But this is the thing I knew inside. I shouldn't have said it, but I said it anyway. Who cares anymore? You can have this open policy, but must take precautions.
Yes.
Must wear a mask, must wear a face shield, must wear more protective clothing. Not open clothing so that they can go anywhere, but more zipped up, more tightly protective, less open parts of the body. Then it would be much better. Then they can open. But just like Taiwan's open policy, because they think in Shanghai people protested and it doesn't help with the lockdown policy, so they opened. And then it came up a lot of sickness in no time.
Yes,
Master.
Before they were kind of very little, very under control, only the imported cases. And now it's also local cases.
Yes.
I saw again today 68,000 something cases. It's much, much more than before. It jumped many 100%.
Yes.
Yes.
Before it's only maybe 1,000 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, or less. And the death is only 600 to 800, and now more and more.
Once lauded for keeping the pandemic at bay, Taiwan now sees its medical facilities overwhelmed with COVID-19 cases and medical workers in major hospitals struggling to cope. There's growing concern that the medical system could face collapse.
But the island has refused to abandon plans to live with the virus. Daily infections topped 90,000 for the first time since the start of the pandemic, taking Taiwan's total tally past 1 million. Local experts warn case numbers may only peak at the end of the month.
Since Taiwan abandoned its zero COVID policy in April, the island's daily COVID cases have reached record high after it shortened the quarantine period for close contacts of infected patients and dropped contact tracing.
他现在的状况都恨不得自己确诊了，因为这样他可以在家里好好休息，不然就是有一部分的人他真的身心疲惫到底。 他这真的很想要直接离职了，不想做了。
Ms. Young's frustration is shared by many medical workers at major hospitals.
确诊医护要休息，确诊医护要休息。
Unions of medical workers took to the street last week to protest against the government's rash decision to ditch the zero COVID policy. With resources stretched to the limit, many severely ill patients are not receiving the due medical care.
So open policy relies on the citizens' discipline.
Yes.
More relaxed, but control. Have to track down who is sick and really make them take medicine, stay home, or treat it accordingly. Cannot just let them run all over and infect the whole country. Oh, my God. All right, then. So I think the best are these two solutions that we have to adopt. We have to encourage more agriculture, farming for food, vegetable farming, grain farming to cure the hunger crisis, not animal people farming.
Yes.
And don't have too much open policy for the COVID infection.
Yes, Master.
Yeah, because there are many other infections as well, like the monkeypox. Monkeypox is also spreading.
Yes, that's right.
In America, they are considering to have some vaccine or something for it.
It is now, unfortunately, monkeypox that is troubling the European countries, along with the US and Australia. And with that, the viral infection has raised an alarm around the world.
Worldwide, there have been roughly 200 confirmed and suspected cases in at least a dozen countries. In the United States, the first case was identified last week in a Massachusetts patient who had recently been in Canada. There is a small number of presumed, though not yet confirmed, cases in New York City, Florida, and Utah.
Americans should expect to see more reported cases of monkeypox in the weeks ahead. That's the message today from the CDC.
Now, the U.S. government has reportedly placed a large order with the maker of a vaccine for monkeypox, purchasing enough for 13 million people at a cost of $119 million.
Oh, you can't just vaccinate forever, man.
Yes, Master.
First they say vaccine is enough, and then no second dose, third dose, and then the fourth is to boost.
Yes.
Booster, and then not enough, then maybe the fifth and the sixth even. In some countries, I heard it's like that.
Yes.
The growing proportion of COVID deaths are from breakthrough infections.
There are vaccinated people who get infected, some of whom go on to severe disease and death.
It is a staggering number we never could have imagined. 1 million Americans now dead from COVID.
And even now, 300 Americans die each day from COVID.
We are still going through this pandemic. Hospitalizations are at their highest level since mid-March. And now next month, the FDA plans to discuss vaccines and whether they should be modified. And later this summer, we might have more information on how frequently booster shots may be needed.
Many people around the world are asking themselves how many doses of the COVID-19 vaccine they'll need and how often.
The US and other countries are expediting booster shots to fight rising infections. People in a handful of places, including Chile and Israel, have even started getting boosters of boosters.
I'm getting the 4th shot today.
But scientists are still trying to determine just how effective these 4th doses are, and some warn against rushing to add more boosters.
Regarding a fourth dose, I'm not convinced at all.
Many epidemiologists say repeated doses shouldn't be given out so quickly.
In countries with a high COVID vaccination ratio, breakthroughs are increasing. This means an infection with COVID-19 despite being vaccinated. This development is worrying many and the reason for many rumors surrounding the efficacy of the vaccines.
Ich finde, jetzt werde ich auch immer mehr verunsichert, weil ich mir denke, die Impfung hat nichts gebracht. Also ich möchte die 3. Impfung nicht haben, weil ich davon ausgehe, dass ich wahrscheinlich alle halbe Jahre mich impfen lassen müsste. Will ich nicht.
Wie sehr vertrauen Sie den Impfstoffen?
Gar nicht. Ich glaube, ich fühle mich nicht geschützt. Ich behalte Abstand und gehe nirgendwo mehr rein.
This was the headline of Bild. 45% of the over 60-year-olds in the hospitals are vaccinated. What was vaccination actually good for?
Oh, terrible. You can't do it forever. So the cure is just being a true human, being benevolent. Just no more killing animals, people to eat, or to use that fur or leather, or in the laboratory, or cosmetics, anything at all. Not even in the car seat or the lounge sofa, because you get sickness and trouble out of any use of animal people products.
That's right, Master.
Okay. What else? Are there any other questions?
The Polish president is the first president to have addressed the Ukrainian parliament in person since the war began, and he said only Ukraine has the right to decide its future.
Of course.
That reiterates what Master has been saying.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
Because Poland also suffers under Russia's hand. They know what it's like.
Yes.
They don't like Russians. The side of the government, the controlling party of Russia. Not like they don't like the Russian people.
Yes.
They don't like the system of the Russian government. I'm telling you some good news. Like, remember before I said Russia has to pay all the costs, yeah?
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
And then now suddenly everybody wants the payment. Like Syria asked America to pay for victims of the war.
Yes, Master.
And Haiti also stood up now for payment from France.
Wow.
Well, Haiti should have done that long ago, actually.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
And of course, President Zelensky is also making a bill or a proposal to ask Russia to pay compensation for all the damage and the people's lives in the war.
Wow. Yes, Master.
It's like a fashion. But I tell you what, the Haitian people, they have the right to demand that. And they should have done that a long time ago. Many, many decades ago, France went and invaded Haiti.
Yes, Master.
And then after the Haitians wanted to be independent, France asked them to pay to France a lot of money, even 10 times the annual budget of the whole nation of Haiti. Even after reduction, 5 times more than France's annual budget. They asked a small little island to pay 5 times France's annual budget to be independent.
Oh.
And the reason was because they lost all the slave business.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Haitians have to pay them. They went into Haiti to make slaves out of the Haitian people. And if these people wanted to be independent, then they had to pay France for that, for being a slave before and now being free.
It's ridiculous.
They were free before France came. At that time, and not now, of course. But still, they had to pay somehow. How can a small little island like that, paying so much, like billions, they want billions of US dollars or French money. Isn't that an upside-down world?
Yes, man, it's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's their home, their country. They came in and invaded it and made slaves out of that country, of the native people. And when that native people wanted to be free, as before the French came, they had to pay for their freedom because the French lost all the slavery trade. Who can listen to this? And they forced the native Haitian government to pay, because they brought not just the documents, the proposal on how much the government needed to pay France for freedom. They brought in a lot of soldiers and bombs and warring equipment. So if they didn't agree, then there would be war.
Yes, Master.
So they truly kind of coerced them, forced them to pay. So the government at that time, for peace sake and being scared, had to agree. And how can a small island develop if they have to continue paying like that? They have to pay the debt, they have to pay the interest for the loan that they took from anyone.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Maybe France lent it to them also, and then got interest out of that. So Haiti could never be truly free to develop, even though they are free from the yoke of France, but they are not free financially.
Yes, Master. Yes.
So many people are poor. The Haitians are poor, and that's why they all went to America's border, hoping to get into the United States of America, so they can have jobs, they can have more money to feed their family.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Because in Haiti, there might be no hope to have anything there,
Yes.
to have any better life, better future for their children. Because in Haiti, they also have gangsters and even killed their president recently.
Yes, that's right.
It's a chaotic. And then the earthquake. People could not even lift their heads up. They always have to be down like that, even after freedom. What freedom cost? My God, billions of dollars. Such a small country already being robbed of resources, of the strength and of the finance, and then now have to pay for the invaders.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
No wonder Macron sides with Russia. Maybe he would like to have the same mentality as Putin or something. Or if he agreed that Ukraine is a victim, then it will contradict the policy that France has been following concerning Haiti.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
I don't know these politician people. I don't know what they're made of. I don't know what school they went to that make them like that. Oh, God. When he was first elected president, first time, everybody was kind of happy.
Yes.
I was also, he's a good guy, I thought. And the second time, oh, very disappointed. Too disappointed and disgusted. Oh, God, how can they live and face God after they die? How can they face the whole world being what they are, talking as they do, huh? And acting the way they want. It's all bad news nowadays.
There's a lot, yes, Master, sadly.
Even if you told me many good things about Ukraine, it's also all war stuff.
That's right.
Yes,
Master.
Meaning they're helping Ukraine in the war, but it would be best if we didn't have any war there.
Exactly,
Yes,
Master.
right.
So the good news wasn't really good news, was it?
That's correct, Master.
But it's just better.
Better news.
Yeah, better. Better news than before, that's all.
Yes, Master.
But still, if the free world had come in more powerfully, respond more strongly, more practically, with manpower and all that, at least then Ukraine wouldn't have been so badly beaten like this.
That's true.
Even if they have won many corners, many areas, but they have had to pay a lot. Damage everywhere.
Yes.
And Mariupol is 90% destroyed.
Oh.
So even if Russia goes out, I don't know how long it takes, how much money. The thing that I don't understand is why NATO did not protect Ukraine and protect their food basket.
Yes, Master.
So this is all talk. It's all working for the devil in disguise. Underneath the table, they're working for evil. They don't work for the people.
Yes.
You have muscle, you have the means, you have weapons, and you don't protect the neighbor in need. And the neighbor is harmless. The neighbor has been supporting you with food and with all necessities, and you don't protect them. What kind of gentleman is that? Tell me.
That's not a gentleman, Master.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's below low life.
Yes, Master.
And I don't apologize for that. I wish I have stronger words to condemn them, truly. And most of the NATO countries, at least many of them, are guarantors of Ukraine's freedom and peace in the Budapest Memorandum.
Yes.
Ukraine once had the world's third largest nuclear arsenal. In 1994, Ukraine joined the NPT, or the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Kyiv had to transfer all its nuclear warheads to Russia. When Ukraine joined the NPT, world powers committed to protect its sovereignty. The United States, the United Kingdom, and Russia signed the Budapest Memorandum. These nuclear-powered states pledged to protect Ukraine's sovereignty, respect Ukraine's territorial integrity, abstain from economic coercion. They also pledged to not use force against Ukraine or threaten it. Russia's aggression and the West's response speaks volumes about the failure of security guarantees.
So they are not doing anything to keep their promise.
That's right.
Not to talk about protecting a neighbor in time of need, in a time of urgency. So they have nothing, no dignity, no gentleman manners, no morals. Oh God, no decency, nothing.
Yes,
Master.
They're just disgusting leeches, especially the leaders of NATO. They're leeches. They just eat off the people and not do proper work and just break their promise like nothing happened. A gentleman always keeps his promise.
That's
Yes,
right,
Master.
And they just let Ukraine die and suffer. To give only weapons in the later stage of the war is already something unacceptable.
Yes,
Yes.
Master.
And seeing so much suffering of the people like that, and still don't really want to step in to help. But Sweden and Finland have no damage, nothing yet, immediately.
Yes.
And I warmly welcome the requests by Finland and Sweden to join NATO.
Welcome. Oh, so, if I did not feel disgusted, then I would be disgusted with myself. I can never talk enough about all this. I don't know why nobody teaches them any manners or any morals or any virtues at all. I don't know what all the churches priests, cardinals, or Pope were doing with these people. They all claim to be religious, no? They went to church. They all do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for nothing. Just go there for fun or just for show. Like Pelosi and Biden killing babies in millions. I mean, supporting that. And still claim to be a good Catholic. Whoa.
Right.
This is really BS.
Yes, Master.
By the way, one of the churches in America denied Pelosi communion.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. They don't let her. They say already, you cannot have it. If she doesn't change her stance concerning abortion, because he supports it. So if she doesn't change, they won't let her.
Well, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will no longer be able to receive communion in her hometown of San Francisco. The conservative archbishop in that city said that he's banning Pelosi from the Holy Sacrament due to her support for abortion rights. In an announcement, the archbishop wrote that until Pelosi was willing to publicly renounce her stance on abortion or stop speaking about her Catholic faith, she will be denied communion.
He is calling Nancy Pelosi to repentance and to publicly repudiate her statements about abortion.
Yeah, he's looking out for her soul and also his own. He has a responsibility as a bishop.
Finally, they do the right thing.
Yeah. At least, no?
Yes, Master.
To show the people that at least they have some decency as a priest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. How can we rescue this kind of world? What am I doing? Wasting my time or not? Doing what? How can you even teach these kind of people anything? Oh, the whole society belongs to this church and that Vatican and this Holy See, whatever. And what are they doing, huh? They don't care if killing or if anybody dies, anybody lives. Don't care. No wonder even a communist country like North Korea doesn't even answer Biden at all. You know, a powerful nation, president, and they just snub him. Don't even answer. Don't even say no, thank you, nothing. Such a small little country. If you want people to respect you, you must have at least some decency.
Yes.
Something to show that you're worthy of your position as a leader.
That's right, Master.
If you don't have any, how do people respect you?
Yes, Master.
If people respect you and listen to you, then they would sell their own ideal, sell their soul.
Yes.
Doing the wrong thing and pretending it to be the right thing. At least North Korea, they don't pretend. Better than many cheating and pretending and all this theater and talk and deluding people. Cheating people just to be in that position. Ugh, yuck. Oh my God. In Vietnam, they call this kind of leaders just woman insects in the form of humans.
Oh.
Whoever is not up to the standard in this period of our world's time must go.
Yes, Master.
Understand, Master.
Go to some other truly hellish planet and suffer there, or clean up or burn out all of the badness until they're really a cleaner, so they can be reincarnated to some better place again. I don't want to think about it. It makes me suffer. It gives me pain to think about how they will have to suffer.
Our gratitude to gracious Master's tireless and loving efforts to help our planet. Your firm advocacy for the truth will always be an inspiration for us to continue believing in humanity's endless potential and for a more noble and benevolent world. We send our prayers for all global leaders awakening so that we may all together live in lasting peace with the infinite blessings of heavens as God intended for His children. May cherished Master be well and constantly protected by all divine beings. Due to the urgent situation, this clip is aired without the usual subtitles. This conference will air with more subtitles later today. To hear more insights, by Supreme Master Ching Hai on COVID-19, the threat of world hunger, as well as more about the evolution of beings on the planet Div. Please tune in to Between Master and Disciples at a later date for the full broadcast of this conference.